right, I have all my bases attached. There's the bottom, oops, kind of got a little squished in. Bottom of my circle, a little yogurt tub. This one has the base, it's kind of stuck to the paper here. All done there, still needs a little attention. Looks like I set it on top of a chunk of clay. And my bowl. So I'm gonna do a lid for these two now. They've stiffened up, wow, they're stiffening up fast now. So what I wanna do is create a domed lid, kind of like these, like this one. So what that was is flipped over inside to make the right shape. So I have this slab of clay here. It's quite soft. And before I put it on top there, I don't want to cut this really close because I need lots of extra clay, but I can cut off sort of the parts over here that I know I'm not going to use. And it will get trimmed later. Let's bring this in. So I'm going to take my slab and drape it. I want to get it kind of centered over top there. And I want to let this kind of gradually sink down in there. If I start just jamming it in there, it's going to tear it. So I want to lift on the outside, lift this up and press it down. It's probably sticking a bit to the edge here. So I want to not put a lot of stress on that part right there. Lift and try not to create a whole lot of finger marks in there. But I do want it to sink down in. And the further it sinks, the bigger the dome will be. So I don't need a whole lot. But I do want to create kind of this edge here on top. So I don't want to put a whole lot of pressure. This isn't going to stick because I didn't score and slip it, but I don't want it to stick it all to the walls of my form, and I don't want to damage them. So I'm not putting a whole lot of pressure on there, but you can definitely see the inside rim, so it's quite a bit steeper there. So I want to create the same sort of angle. I have my project on top of a piece of newspaper here so I can spin it around easily without having to pick up the whole project. Lift it a little bit and let it sink down in. A little bit more so that it's got quite an edge there. And again, I'm not cutting this close, but I can take off some of this extra weight that's hanging on the side here now that I have a better sense of how much clay I need. Creates a lot of just drag on the clay and extra weight while it's sitting here. It's going to need to sit up for a little while. So I'm not cutting, whoops, jam my fingernail. I'm not cutting close to the walls. And I can hold it up and show you in a second. But this will get trimmed even more once it's a little stiffer. So if I lift that up, you can see I've still got lots of clay around the top there. But if I flip it over now, I'll lose this nice shape here. So I don't want it to cave in. You could take a very damp, very barely damp sponge if you want, just to, again, go in and, oh, my fingernails, smooth that out. And then we'll set that off to stiffen up a little bit. And then do a similar thing with my little circle here. So this was a scrap. Hopefully it's not too stiff. Smooth it out, because this can be thinner than the base. Now, it's handy sometimes to find the same sort of shape and use it as a template. I think this will work. Again, it'll get trimmed down later. But that gives me a nice circle to start with. And then again, I'm going to kind of center it, flip it over, and just gently work it down into the dome, finding that edge. So lifting up, letting the clay go down into the inside. This is a little dry. It's been rolled several times. I've been reusing my scraps over here. I think it'll be all right. Okay, we'll set that one again. You can see there's still quite a bit of clay around the outside. We'll trim that off later. Now this one, I wanted to try something. It got a little stiff, so what I did is I took a paper towel and painted some water on it to re-moisten the sides here. So you might remember a few weeks ago I did a demo on the wheel where we pushed in the wall. I'm going to try to do that on a hand-built form. See if this is soft enough. I'm not sure it is. But instead of using what I use a chopstick, I was going to use this stick, but I think it's a little thick. I'm going to come back to this.